All right, ladies and gentlemen, you know who it is. Good job back again. Once again, let's lock in. I'm jumping straight into it today. A gentleman sent me an email recently, right? And I don't know why he felt the need to divulge this information with me, but I'm gonna share it with you guys, okay? So he's like, Doc, I'm a single guy, recently divorced, couple kids and stuff, and I plan on going to the Philippines. I'm like, that's awesome, man. I mean, anything that you need help with or anything that you want to know, let me, just ask and I'll let you know. So he was like, Doc, I got a question. He's like, man, I'll bust my ass day in and day out, man. I got a 9-to-5 plus I got a little side hustle going on, and I make pretty good money. And he says, I have allotted myself upwards to the amount of $10,000 for about a month's stay in the Philippines. Now, when he allotted that money, that is money that he doesn't necessarily care whether he comes back with it or not. When I say he allotted it, that's what that means. So he was like, Doc, I know there's a phrase, it ain't tricking if you got it. But how do you feel about me spending that type of money in the Philippines? Now, I wanted to get him to wrap his head around what he was asking me. Because, ladies and gentlemen, you're talking about $500,000 if the rate was $1 to 50 pesos. You're talking about upwards to 500,000 pesos that you plan to spend. Not gonna hold you, man. That seems like a great time. But for a first timer who doesn't really know, I'm the type of guy that says, hey, I don't care what you do with your money because I can't gatekeep you. I can't tell you what to do with your bread. But I would want you to do your best to maximize it. What do I mean by that, man? Be very conscientious about the places you choose to stay, how much money or how much currency you choose to, exchange at one particular time. I wanted him to be very much aware of this particular instance. But he was like, I understand that, man. Airbnb, I already got it set up. I already know that I'm going to change probably a couple hundred at a time at best, right? That way, if I come back with bread, I'm cool. He was like, but when it comes to the females, when it comes to going out on dates, when it comes to going to the bars, right? Shout out to my big brother O'Shea, famous line, go in the club and, just start straight tricking and shit. He was like, I don't mind doing shit like that. And I told him, I said, fam, if that's what it takes for you to feel good about you, if that's what you want to do because you know you could do it, I can't stand between you and your money. As a matter of fact, I remember a live stream I had many years ago. Shout out to my brother Pedro. He mentioned that he went to AC and, kind of got into this little tit for tat with another foreigner about spending money at a particular bar. He ended up divulging that he spent a pretty good penny, but at the end of the day, he didn't care because that was the money he had set aside, and B, it was fun, right? Now, I'm a very conservative foreigner when it comes to how I spend my money and budget friendly and stuff like that in the Philippines, which is why I'd be the worst person to ask. But if I had a 500,000 peso budget for Trickin alone, just for the Trickin aspect of it, and I was a single guy, let's make sure I preface that, I would probably never go to bed alone, ever, right? I would treat myself more specifically to the finer things that the Philippines had to offer, stay at the Shangri-La, stay at the best hotels. I mean, I'm pampering the shit out of myself, especially as a man. If you work your ass off, 9-to-5 plus, a side hustle or something like that, you deserve to spend your money how you choose to, how you opt to do so, right? You deserve to spend it how you want to. But I'm very, very apprehensive with the idea of spending that money on females, right? I don't like the idea because at the end of the day, it's going to become something that they're going to have an expectation for every single time you come around, and then I kind of feel it's going to get to the point where they're just using you. Now, if it gets to that point and you're okay with it because hopefully you're benefiting from it, again, who am I to stand in your way on how you choose to spend your currencies, right? How you choose to spend your pera. But when it comes to a $10,000 budget, is it really tricking if you got it? Only if you trick on dumb shit. Only if you do dumb shit with the money that you have, right? What do I mean by dumb shit? This isn't necessarily dumb, but it's not something that I recommend. Going to the bar, right, and ringing the bell and buying shots and bar and drinks for everybody in the bar type shit. Because at that point, now you draw too much attention to yourself. I've talked to you guys about this before, that you never want to go to a place like the Philippines or a third world country, anywhere, draw a lot of attention to yourself. The reason you don't want to do that is simply because of what? Now you become a target. So how can you genuinely enjoy your time, space, and energy, or enjoy your time off, taking on this trip and vacation, if you've now shown people, yo, I got access to this type of cash. I can afford to, buy the bar, technically, or buy everybody a drink in the bar. So for me, if it's private tricking, I don't hold that against you. But if you're the type of guy, even though I really don't care for tricking at all, but if it's private tricking, or it's not where it's available for public notice that you out there getting it in, or that you actually have this type of bread, I don't hold it against you. But what I will say is this, ladies and gentlemen, I want you to hear me when I say this. Hear me. Be careful how and what you choose to do with your bread when you're in a foreign country, because I never want you to become a statistic, right? It's easy to become a statistic over there, right? Foreigners, unfortunately, disappear often over there, and you don't know what the hell happened. And I do believe that the majority of the time, maybe not all the time, could be a lover's quarrel or some shit, but the majority of the time, there is some type of money involved, right? So I want you to be able to go over there and have fun. If you want to splurge a little bit, or you want to give a little girl extra 1,000 pesos or something like that, although that is blasphemous in my community and the people that, rock with the good dog, 1,000 pesos, bro, you doing the most. Because we know what the numbers really are, because we can do the numbers, we can crush the numbers, and we know. But if you're new to the game and you feel like this is something you're okay with, who am I to stand in the way of what you do with your money? I will say that doing shit like that fucks up the ecosystem. As in, now you're going to have women having an expectation that the next guy who's going to trick on me has to trick the exact same money as you. And then when they get that rude awakening for somebody like myself, it says, boo-boo, you got the wrong one. It does bring them back to reality, but again, it gives them this heightened sense of, oh my God, this foreigner took so much care of me, the next guy has to do this, or it's nothing, all right? And we don't want to create that type of mentality. We don't want to create that type of illusion, because that ain't all of us, right? Just because you, my brother, have a $10,000 budget for a month stay or a couple months stay in the Philippines doesn't mean that's going to be everybody's money, right? It doesn't mean that everybody going to come with it like that, and it doesn't mean that everybody's energy in reference to how they choose to trick, it's going to be like that. Spend that money on yourself. Get you some good massages, stay at the best places, do whatever you need to do to make yourself feel like the king that you are. And then I say keep it pushing. If you want to add a couple females in there every now and again, my brother is single. Do what you do, man. And if anybody has any comments, questions, or concerns, good doc, Dr. Mike TV, email me at mikethepigod@gmail.com. Leave your comments down in the comment section below. We'd love to hear from you guys, man. It's been my time, effort, and energy. It's been a good doc. Y'all take care, man. Y'all stay blessed. Doc is out. Peace.